Let's see how to use Firebase Authentication in a React.js application. So I'll start by creating a new React application, and to do that I'll use vit. So npm create vit at latest, and let's run the command. I'll give a name to my project, and of course the framework is going to be React, and for the language I'll just go with JavaScript. So let's install everything with npm, and the project was created. Let's now open the folder of the new project in Visual Studio Code, and here it is. Let's open the folder. Let's now go to the Firebase console. So console.firebase.google.com, it's already open, and let's create a new Firebase project, and I call it simple auth. I'll uncheck this checkbox, and let's continue. And I don't want Gemini, so let's disable it and continue. And the same thing for analytics. Let's create our project. Next, we need to add an app, so let's add app, and I'm using React, so of course it's going to be this option for web. We need to give a name to the app. I just call it React Client. And let's register app. Then we need to install Firebase, so let's copy this. Let's get back to Visual Studio Code, and in my terminal let's install Firebase. So this is done, and now we need to copy this code snippet, and inside the source folder I'm going to create a new file. I'll just call it firebase.js, and let's paste here the code that I just copied. Now we need to define the Firebase authentication using the getAuth function. And now that we have the auth object, we need to export it. And of course, we also need to import the getAuth function. So it will go here. Next, I want to create a simple sign up form. So let's go to app.jsx. And let's start by deleting everything we currently have. And I want to keep it very simple. So the idea is that we'll have one input or one text box for the user email, another text box or input for the password, and then a submit button for the entire form. And when the user clicks on the submit, they should be registered to our authentication system. So first I defined two states, one for the email, another one for the password. Then we have heading 2 that says sign up form, and then we have the form itself. And let's see what we have inside our form. So first we have here a label that says email, and then we have an input. We can see that the value of this input is email, which is exactly what we have in our state. And whenever we detect a change to this input, we use the setEmail function to update the state of the email. We then do something very similar for the password. And whenever the text in this input changes, we use setPassword to update the state of the password. And up here, we take care of submissions of the form. We start by preventing the default behavior of the form because we do not want a page refresh. And then we use this function, create user with email and password. And I should probably import it. And this function takes 3 parameters. So the first one is auth. And auth is exactly what we defined here, what we exported from this file. So this is the first parameter that we pass. Then we need to pass the email and the password. So let's try to start our development server, npm run dev, and we can see our sign up form. Now, to be able to actually register users to our authentication system, we first need to go back to Firebase, and here we need to continue to console. Then under build, we need to choose authentication, and we need to click here to get started. Now I'm going to keep things simple, and I'm only going to use the email and password provided. This option is probably the simplest to start with. So let's choose email and password, and let's enable it and save. If we go to users, we can see that currently we don't have any users yet. So let's get back to the application itself, and let's try to sign up a new user. So let's use this email and some password, and let's try to sign up. And if I now go back to Firebase and refresh my list of users, we can see that we have the new user. And let's delete it for now, so I can click here and delete account. I now want to create a better separation. I don't want the sign up form to be part of the main component. I want a component for the form itself. So let's start by creating a new folder for our components. So in my source folder, I'm going to create a new folder for components. And in the components folder, let's create a new file for our sign up form. So let's define a new component here. And I'm simply going to move everything that's related to the sign up form from the main component. So let's take all of this code and move it to the sign up component. And let's also move the imports. And one more thing that I want to do here is to reset the form. And the way I'm going to do that is to set the inputs for the email and password to empty strings after the user submits the form. And now the form will be reset. And now in the main component in app.jsx, we're simply going to return the sign up form. And let's take a look at our application now. And it looks just like it looked before, but now it uses a separate component for the sign up form. Next, I want us to work on the sign-in form. So the sign-in form is going to be very similar to the sign-up form, and this is why I'm going to start by duplicating the file that we already have for the sign-up form, and let's rename it to sign-in form. And wherever we have here sign up, I'm going to change it to sign in. And of course here we don't want to create a new user, so instead of create user, we want to sign in an existing user. And this is why the function that we're going to use now is sign in, and specifically want to sign in with email. And we have a function just for that, so sign in with email and password, here it is. And now we don't need the import to create user, so let's delete this. And the good thing is that the parameters that this function takes are identical to the parameters that we used to create a new user. And now in the main component, on top of showing the sign up form, I also want us to show the sign in form. And if we get back to the application itself, we can see both of the forms, the sign up form and the sign in form. Now, the thing is that I don't necessarily want to show both of the forms at the same time. I want to allow the user to show either the sign-up form or the sign-in form. To do that, first I want to define a new state, auth option, and this state will hold a string. This string can be either sign up or sign in. So here it is, and as you can see, I initialized it to the value sign in. I now want to define two buttons for both of the options. One button for sign up, and if the user clicks on the first button, the sign up form will be shown, and if the user clicks on the second button, the sign in form will be shown. So here are the two buttons, and as you can see, if the user clicks on the first one, we set the auth option to sign in. If the user clicks on the second button, we set the auth option to sign up. I want to add here a bit of styling so that it will be very clear if what we see now is sign in or sign up. To do that, I want the button of the active option to be colored. So let's add a bit of styling here, and here it is. So as you can see, for the first button, if auth option is sign in, which means that this button is the active one, we are setting the color of the button. Otherwise, we are setting it back to the default values. And the same thing for the second button. So if the active auth option is sign up, we set a color for this button. Otherwise, we set it back to the default. And now I want to show the sign up form only if our auth option is sign up, and I only want to show the sign in form if the auth option is sign in. And now only one form will be visible based on the current value of auth option. So let's take a look at the application itself, and we can see both of our buttons. Let's now try to click on the other button, and we can see the sign up form. If I now click on the first option again, we can see the sign in form. The next thing I want us to do is to add a snapshot to detect changes to the authentication state. The way we usually do that is use effect, because use effect allows us to do some operation only when the component loads. So let's add here use effect, and if I want the callback that we define inside use effect to only run once, I need to pass a second parameter, and this is because the second parameter is the sensitivity list. This is the list of variables that upon change will trigger a rerun of the callback that we define here. But if I do not want any reruns and I only want this callback to run once, I'm going to pass an empty sensitivity list. And to subscribe to changes to the authentication state, we are going to use onAuth state changed. The first parameter is auth, which is exactly the one we defined in Firebase.js, this one. And the second parameter is a callback, and the parameter of this callback is the user that is currently logged in. So I'm going to call this parameter current user. Now I'll define a state for the currently logged in user. And then whenever we detect a change to the authentication state, we can set the user, we can set this state. And one more thing that we need to do is to unsubscribe from this snapshot when we close the component. And to do that, we need to catch the return value of this function, and this is actually a callback. And we need to call this callback when this component closes, and the way we do that is by using return inside use effect. So here I'm going to add return, and I'm going to add here another callback that will call unsubscribe. Now that we have this state, it's very easy to know whether or not the user is logged in. So let's check if the user is logged in, because we probably want to show the form for sign up and the form to sign in only if the user is not currently logged in. So let's start by checking if the user is logged in, and only if the user isn't logged in, we will return what we returned before, which basically shows the authentication forms. Now, if the user is logged in, I want to welcome the logged in user. So we're going to show here a simple welcome message. And the nice thing is that we can personalize this message, because we can find out who is the user that is logged in. And to do that, I can access the current user, which is user.email, and this will show the email of the currently logged in user. So let's get back to the application itself, and we can see both of our forms. We can switch between them, and as you might remember, if we go back to Firebase, we can see that currently we don't have any users. So let's start by signing up. So let's choose the sign up form as a new user, and notice what happens as soon as I sign up. So let's sign up, and we can see the welcome message. And moreover, this welcome message is personalized and shows the email of the currently logged in user. And now I want us to see how we can easily access the current authentication state in child components. Currently, it's very easy to know whether or not the user is logged in this component, in the main component. But if we want to use this information in some other component, so the easiest way to do that is use context. So let's start by defining our context. Now, the idea is that we are going to use this context both here in the main component and also in every other component that needs to know the current state of the authentication state. And this is why we are going to define this context in a separate file so that we can import it to any of the consumer components. So in the source folder, let's create a new file, and I'm going to call it authcontext.js. And here we are going to call create context. And I want to store the result of create context in a local constant. And now I'm going to export this constant. So let's export auth context. And now let's see how we can actually use this auth context. So for that, I'm going to create a new component. So in our components folder, I'm going to call this new component child. And the idea is that we want to get the current authentication state in this child component. So the way we do that is that we need to use the context that we just defined. And to do that, we need to use context. And as a parameter, we need to pass the specific context that we want to use. And in my case, it's going to be the one that we defined here, our auth context. And let's store the value of this context in a local constant. And now we have the current state of the user, whether or not it is logged in this child component. So now I can, for example, move the welcome message to this child component. Now, back in the main component in app.js6, we need to do two things. First, of course, we need to call our child component, but this is not enough. We also need to set the value to our authentication context. So here, I'm going to remove the welcome message that we currently have here, because this is something that we're now going to do in the child component. So to do that, first we need to access our authentication context. This is the one that we defined here. And as you remember, it's called auth context. So let's start by referencing it. Then we need .provider, because this is the provider of this context. This is where we set the value for the context. Then we need to pass a prop called value. And this is where we set the value to the context. And in our case, it's going to be very easy because we already know the user. This is exactly what we have in this state. And now inside the auth context.provider component, this is where we can use any component we want, and the components inside our provider will have access to this context. So here, inside auth context.provider, I am going to call my child component. And let's look at the application itself again. And what we see now is actually coming from the child component. Let's now see how we can add a logout functionality, and I'm going to do that in my child component. So let's add here a button, and when this button is clicked, I'm simply going to call the sign out method. And as a parameter to sign out, we need to pass auth, which is exactly the definitions from our Firebase file. And if we get back to the application, we can see that now we have a sign out button, and as soon as I click on the button, we get back to our authentication forms. And I can sign in as an existing user or sign up as a new user. And the nice thing is that I can go as deep as I want, and all of the child components, it can be a child of a child, and so on, they will all have access to the current authentication state. So let's try to add another component, and I'm going to call this one grandchild. So let's define this new component, and just like we did before, if I want to access the authentication state from this component, I'm going to use context. And just as an example, I'm going to add here another greeting message to the user from this component. And now I'll call the grandchild component from the child component. So let's get back to the child component, and let's call here the grandchild component. And if we get back to the application now, we can sign in again. So let's sign in with the existing user. And as soon as I sign in, we can see both the child component and the grandchild component, and both of them could access the current authentication state.